My Miele Red Velvet is as done as it was when you last saw it. Bless it, it's been used a little bit as well and is very, very nice. But obviously the pedals are very, very worn and not very good. And there is the slight matter of the cord reel being a little bit broken. So imagine my shock and surprise when, as you know, we bought the tools that this thing needed for a mere 99p. A friend of mine who lives not very far away said, "Hey, do you want my old vacuum cleaner? I've got a Henry now and I don't want it." And look what it is. It's a Miele Compact C2 Extreme Edition, which if it had come around not very long ago at the time of filming this, I would have been able to save £4. But it didn't, so we're going to end up with some spares once we have broken this poor thing down for a couple of choice components. Let's get on with it. Yes, hello my vacuum cleaner chums, how are you today? Excuse me a second whilst I take that off. These are the tools that I originally had for the Red Velvet, the jammed up one, so it's ever so nice to suddenly have two complete spare ones almost, and the All-Tech floor head that I've always had. It's there, bless it. Not too bad. Then, of course, as you remember, we got this lovely specimen in the last video where we supposedly finished this off. That's here and is better and needs refurbishing and will just be nice to have to, you know, sell with a Miele. And that's this really done. We shall switch fire now and have a look at this Miele C2. I hate these. I do not like them. They get bought by people like my friend who just want a cheap Hoover and do not care about maintenance. I remember last year I had to help him find bags for it. Bless his little heart. And it came with this plastic floor head. Yes, this design was caught right up in the old EU regulations. They used to be 22, or they went up to 2200 watts. Then they went down to 1400, I think, you know, right before they had to. And then we end up with this, which would be 1600 watts because it's a power line. Generation after this went down even more, I think. They probably still sell it. So yeah, we have a switch from metal to plastic base plate floor head. Could be interesting to do a direct comparison at some point. We are missing a tool holder, which actually makes that 99p very well spent indeed. Have you noticed, look, the condition of the pedals? I mean, they're not mint, but they're a lot better than the other one. You notice the bag, look. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Let us turn it on first. Look at the cord feel, it's so smooth. Oh, wow. Right, that's really good to see because that's the main important bit of this that we want. Oh, it's missing its fuse cover and it has a 10 amp fuse in it. How did I lose the fuse cover? How does that happen? Oh, let's put this onto here and oh, that stinks. Yeah, no. Bag is absolutely disgustingly full. Ugh, right, to the point where they're going to remove it. Don't know actually. Come on, get out. You disgusting person, you. Get rid of that. Everything else isn't too tragic, I'll be honest, but we're not saving it. It is beaten up. Oh yeah, you do need to come off now. In fact, we'll keep that. I'll start to make a keep pile because yes, this is being broken for spares. I have no desire to keep it at all once we are done here. I will try and keep some bits, like the filter cage, they're always handy to keep. But what we need to do next is get these nice pedals off and get the cord reel out. And there we go, we have our bounty of, presumably and hopefully it still fits in the other one, a fantastic cord reel cassette. I'm also going to keep this, primarily because on these, all of this wears away. It's difficult to explain really, but on a lot of these, there, that bit snaps and you have to bodge the whole thing with hot glue. So I'll keep all that, and the PCB and stuff. Hey, it was stuff like this knocking around that got RGB Henry upgraded, bless him. Always keep stuff, just not too much. Right, let us open our much better smelling. Do that last. We'll do the cord reel first. We'll take out the bag. Inside is still spotless. Our filter is still looking as new. Yeah, you're not going to change, are you? Whatever. Undo our screws with a little bit more care on this one, because obviously it is made of velvet and such like. Actually, who knows, that back panel might be better than this one anyway. Let's have a check. It's okay for now. Just feels less loose. Oh. There we go. Yeah, no, that's okay. That's this one. Look, same design, just a little bit different. But this one has a date stamp on it, look, of 2015, which our red one does, and 20th of the 4/15. Nothing on this, but yeah, they're completely interchangeable. We could, I dare say, improve ever so slightly. If it wasn't for the fact that the electronic hose requires this to work. Maybe I should Frankenstein it up, because the problem is that minimum is too weak. Auto, I don't like auto because it just changes up and down too much, and max is too powerful. I have to say, being able to turn the speed manually, there is a lot to be said about it. You are right. Fab. Right, let's take this off, which I have to be a lot more careful with because I don't want to damage the velvet. There's one of them. Look, you've got to find where to lever these on. Why, I'm not a huge, massive fan of them because they're just not as nicely put together as the older ones. There we go. But equally, this one's just come off. Feed the wires through. Marvellous. Then we need to unplug the motor. We'll keep our motor because I think it's more powerful anyway. that is our old cord reel. It's these that are jammed up. It's all to do with those. I did get them moving briefly, but didn't want to know. Hence, we are doing this. Then in theory, we should just be able to almost drop, he says. We've got to line a lot of things up and then it'll drop in our cord reel into place. We've got to take the motor out because the wiring has to go into its little channel, and it's a lot easier to do with, oh gosh, in fact, yes, that's, I've completely twisted that. Come on. Oh, hello. Ah. Let me swear gently at it. Bit of swearing later. It just needs to drop in. You'll get there. And yes, first impressions. Oh, hey, beautiful. We should be good to go. Right. Plug needs to be facing upwards on the motor, and then click this into place. Plug our motor in, and that is done. Now we can put this back on. In fact, we want to put the we can put the plug through it now. Look at it, stays through. How marvellous! And you've got to put this top plug up through the top. If it was an older one, it'd be easier. There we go. They have plugs and stuff. They don't look. You can see where the moulding for the plug was. It was just too cheap to put a plug in there. No, don't go down there. You've got to go in there. Ha! Yay! Beautiful. Have we knocked off the suction relief valve? No, I did that once. I heard clips. Marvellous. We'll knock our little driver down to 5 to 8 because we don't want to spin out these. And in theory, yes, still working lovely. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Doesn't really matter. Oh yeah, 5 because we want to leave the last 2 for after we have put our very shiny but very flawed, bless it, panel on. Problem is, the panel makes the cleaner. Oh, don't know if you saw, but all of the automatic stuff runs off pipes, and that little gasket there that's just fallen out and then dropped back in is the start of it. And then there, in fact this is the difference between the two. I wonder if the mouldings are there. Tis, look. See on this one, the pipe that runs from there and then all the way through and down, that's the automatic sensor. If we look here, look, the hole is still there, and this is a much later machine anyway. The moulding lines are still there, and look, there's no hole to go through, but it's all still there. Bless them. Miele don't change a thing if they don't have to, and yeah, probably makes good business sense, doesn't it? Because they can keep the cost of mouldings and stuff down. I don't know. I like it when companies are adventurous, but equally I'm a vacuum cleaner collector, and that makes me very biased indeed. Right, that bit is done. Now we can pop off the switches, which is quite easy really. You just got to pop them off. It's all to do with this, look. As soon as you've got them past this clip, they just pull like so. Oh, we can put our much better. They're not mint, but they're probably about as good as I'm going to get, short of chasing around. We may get a better scrap one day. Pushed into place there. Oh, much better. Look, it's the power button that did it. You can tell the difference. just by comparing them close up. All the paint's worn off of that one, to the point that it was very noticeable. Now we just need to pop this entire back part onto its two little pivots at the back. Oh, not a particularly pleasant job, because oh no, wait, that has just popped itself in, I think. No, it hasn't. Ah, it's so horrible. Ah, there we go on that. Ah, it's get on. There we go. And doesn't that just look a little bit smarter? Completely, practically pointless, not going to lie, but oh, so much nicer. Let's find some power. Check that it still works. Right, yep, we're turned on. Oh yeah. Our red V is sorted, and if we remove the cable, look, it's so strong it's pulling all the other parts with it from where the flex is. That is fantastic. And the Miele Red Velvet is now pretty much as complete and as in the condition that it needs to be. There's not really a lot else. Going through all of this stuff, obviously I have my jammed wand, but this jammed wand is, you know, bodily very, very good. It's not worn. It is, you know, mint actually. This other one, right now I can't remember where this came from, but it works fine as well. Nothing wrong with that. But this other one is very dinted, very battered, and you know, not very nice at all. So I think off camera I'm going to make two good ones out of these. This one is only jammed because all of the, you know, adjustment stuff is bent and cracked, whereas these work, so I can transplant everything around. Heck, I'll probably even end up keeping this, you know, jammed in its full extension, just because it's handy to have. We shall stick with this one for a second. I've also now got flipping 3 All-Tech floor tools. Different generations as well, which is always good fun. This one is disgusting and needs to be refurbished. This one is also disgusting. This is our 99p one. This one is okay. It has been refurbished. It was done for Miele Week, and you know, it's just been used a bit since then. So a little bit of work to do to increase my Miele part stash, but hey, that's why I like Miele vacuum cleaners a little bit, because they're so cheap and easy to get stuff for. You can go nuts on stuff and end up with quite a nice machine indeed. It just feels like it, you know, the motor's bobbling up and down, but actually then can't move the thing. At minimum, just skims along the top. Oh. You just cannot win. But for my Miele Red Velvet, I think I have one with it. So that's another Miele vacuum cleaner added to our collection, and all ready to go back up in the loft again for now, whilst I sort things out. But I had to stop using it really straight away. You have to wait until 12 vacuums in 12 months, and it needs to be protected, because yeah, I now don't want this lovely velvety finish to get ruined in storage, because it's done. It is literally complete. There's even a manual which would pass as the original, enough that I care about anyway. That all the tools are there. I put them on this end. It is very, very clunky though. I don't fully recommend it. The other way they go, if I can go and get it off. Ah, come on. Is here on the hose. It's down. And I think that is the better way. I mean, they are handy up at the top, but yeah, that is. They got rid of the tool door, you see, because I presume they wanted to save a bit of money on having to make it. Oh yes, that's another bit. I've got to refurbish all the small tools as well. So lots to be getting on with, but in terms of this machine, you know what it's going to look like. It is now finished, and yeah, has a beautiful cord reel. Doesn't like knots, but hey, that's fine. I think it's been, you know, in a while, but it's very smooth, very nice. Go up. And hey, even Felix likes it, don't you? Yeah. You want to look? Do you know what the velvet is? No. Oh, there you go. Look, you can have a nice image of his bum as he sits on my phone. So there we go, the Miele Red Velvet S7630. 3 videos out of it. Not too bad for an eBay parts machine. And hey, once I've done a little bit more, you know, washing and stuff, I'll wait until I next take something apart. I'm not going to do a special thing for this. It will be done, and you'll probably see it in the future. So for now, stop chewing my camera, birdie. It's time to say goodbye, and thank you very much for watching, and I and the Miele will see you soon. Bye bye.